GTR listeners, the official Gamertag Radio store is now open on TeePublic. Go to store.gamertagradio.com. That's store.gamertagradio.com. Represent us. You could buy t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, posters, stickers, and much, much more. We are planning to add more designs coming very soon to the store, but as of right now, we have a couple of designs available now, like I Love Gaming and the GTR, Gamertag Radio logo, and so on. It's pretty cool. So go right now to store.gamertagradio.com. That's store.gamertagradio.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, podcasting since 2005. You're listening to Gamertag Radio with your hosts, podcaster Hall of Famer Danny Pena, the always opinionated Paris Lilly, and from outside of the norm, Peter Toledo. This is Gamertag Radio.
Welcome to a brand new episode of Gamertag Radio. This is episode 768. Just a couple days before the craziness begins live at E3, and that's in a couple days. I'm flying out actually this Saturday, June 9th. I'm flying out to LA, and there's going to be a couple events there, EA Play and a couple things going on over the weekend. Next day is Microsoft and Bethesda and a couple of goodies, a couple of surprises I'm working on too for over the weekend. But I will say this, make sure that you're subscribed to the podcast. I don't care where you subscribe at. Make sure to subscribe and be on the lookout for all the nonstop content that we're planning to release. Last year we had 50 episodes. I don't know if we could put it off this year because only two of us going to E3. But Paris is going to be joining us, the after hours of E3 and stuff like that. But it's going to be a little bit challenging. But I'm very confident with the stuff that we have planned. I think we're going to pull it off. We're going to pull it off this year, man. So that means nonstop interviews, daily roundtable discussions about all type of things going on every day, and some special surprises, hands-on impressions, and much, much more. Only here on Gamertag Radio, starting June 10th all the way to the 15th, nonstop E3 content. So I hope you're ready for that.
You're listening to Gamertag Radio.
This episode is only going to be me. P and Paris are also, busy and getting ready for E3. So I'm going to keep it short with this episode. I just want to talk to you guys on certain things. And look, I've been traveling a lot. I've been traveling a lot. And if you follow me on Instagram, on Twitter, or Facebook, I'm always posting pictures of my traveling, right? I'm on the plane, and I'm always with my Nintendo Switch. Now, for the past few weeks, I've been playing a lot of great games, especially nonstop digital indie games. So I'm going to mention a couple of the games that I highly recommend for you if you have a Nintendo Switch. I'm telling you right now, you need to check these games out. I'm playing these nonstop. I'm only going to mention 5 because there's a lot more that I have. But these are the top 5 most recent ones that I've been checking out. And a lot of agencies, PR agencies, have been sending us copies for us to review and stuff on the podcast. So I'm going to talk about it right now. So the first one that this one I bought it myself. I never got this from anyone. I purchased this because I've been watching videos for this for a very long time. I know they have videos like on PAX and other events. This game is called Just Shapes and Beats. Let me tell you, I love Thumper. Thumper is one of my favorite games that came out last year for PlayStation, Xbox, and also this year came out for Nintendo Switch. So you are this little shape that you have to avoid enemies in a different color. All of them are in red, I believe. So every time you play a level, the music gets really chaotic, and based on the music, that's when the enemy even get crazy too based on that. So if the music is, let's say, 8-bit style music, It goes with the flow. Actually, they even have a song there that is from, if you're an old school head, Mortal Kombat cartoon, not the cartoon, the video games from the 90s. They even have the soundtrack of that. It's super cool. You could play co-op, local, online with other players. There's challenges in the game. Also a story mode, which is, let me tell you, is really good. The story is so freaking good. This game, hands down, one of my favorite games that I played so far this year. Top notch. If you're a Nintendo Switch owner, make sure to cop this. I know it's eventually going to come out for other consoles later this year, but it came out first right now exclusively for Nintendo Switch. And I believe this is also available for Steam. So yes, go right now. Look it up on YouTube. It's called Just Shapes and Beats. If you follow me on social media, I posted already a couple videos of me playing it, and it's so freaking awesome. Love the game. And the cool thing about the story is you think you finished the story, you finish the whole game, and the game continues. It's pretty cool. So no spoilers, but make sure to cop it. It's awesome. All right, a game too that I've never played this. This is my first time playing it. Came out recently for the Nintendo Switch. Another one called Runner 3. I know a lot of people probably played the old Runner games, Runner, the first one and the second one, but this one is actually better than the previous ones. It's very challenging. I'm not gonna lie, it's super challenging. It takes a while to complete the levels and stuff, but if you're into this type of rhythm, music, gameplay type game, go for it. It's Runner 3, and all you do in this game is you jump, double jump, there's wall jump, slide jump, kick, flow. You actually drive vehicles and so on. So it gets super challenging. Don't be surprised if you smash the controllers a couple of times because it's tough. But actually, it's a lot of fun. If you're into those type of games, you want some challenge in your life, go with Runner 3. Another great game that I personally love. It's the most, how I say this, it's very simple, graphically super simple, but the soundtrack, 10 out of 10, super good. And this game is called N++. This is the sequel to the legendary N+, and this is written from scratch, and is better and even beautiful than the previous games. So there's going to be enemy robots that are going to try to prevent you from escaping and also completing your goal. So for me, I had to play a couple times to figure out certain levels because it was getting really, really challenging. But here's the thing. There's over 4,000 levels. Over 4,000 levels. And at the same time, there's also a leaderboard where you see who has like the most points and so on. So yeah, this is a very, very challenging single player campaign. And like I said, over 4,000. Actually, it's 4,340 handmade levels. But the good thing about this game is every time you play, there's a soundtrack playing in the background, which you could also select. Let's say there's a song that you don't like. You could, with your controller, you could switch it while playing the game. So very cool game. Make sure to check it out. N++. This is super, super challenging. Also, if you're into like creating your own levels, you could do that, and you could share this online. There's leaderboards. There's also, let's say you check on the leaderboards, you could also check other people's gameplay. There's like replay videos in there. Local co-op up to 4 players. Also, there's a competitive mode for 4 players too. Hardcore mode for those that want some crazy, tough, challenging single player game. This is it right here too. I know I mentioned about the soundtrack. This has 63 tracks by different electronic artists. So make sure to check it out. N++. Highly recommended. If you're into those type of games too, and I've been playing this nonstop, check it out for the Nintendo Switch. All right. Now we're talking about this now, man. There's a couple RPG games that have been coming out now for the past few months. But these two right here, these two, I freaking love because it reminds me so much of these like JRPG games from back in the days, especially from the Super Nintendo days. One of them is called Earthlock. This is also an inspired RPG game from the late 90s. And this game previously came out for Steam and other systems, but this is the first time this is out for the Nintendo Switch. So it was out a year ago, but I know based on the feedback from the community, there were certain things that people didn't like in the game, that the developers took their time, at least a year, for them to fix these issues, and they finally release it for the Nintendo Switch. Of course, there's strategic turn-based battles. You could also access to like 6 playable characters, which you could do that and change it here and there whenever you want. This is an awesome game for the Nintendo Switch. If you're into RPG, especially JRPGs, make sure to check it out, Earthlock. Also, another game that I've been playing this nonstop is Battle Chasers Night War, that also came out for Nintendo Switch. And it's crazy. These two games kind of came out like around the same time. This is also was inspired for those RPG games from back in the 90s and stuff. But this also has some cool animations. Like when you start the game, they show like little video of the characters and stuff. Looks really awesome. And if you are into JRPG, dope story. I know at first you start with 3 characters. And you could switch while you're walking around and exploring to different parts of the world. The boss battles is awesome. Soundtrack top notch. Highly recommended for Nintendo Switch owners. You could choose 3 characters all the time, right? But there's 6 available heroes that you could choose from, and you could pick those 3 for you to continue your quest. Also, this is based on a comic book of Battle Chasers that was first released back in the late 90s, and it has a huge cult following. So make sure to check it out. This game is awesome. Highly recommended. Battle Chasers. All right, so we're going to take a short break here. That was my couple games I've been playing now for the Nintendo Switch. By the way, make sure to cop it or check it out on YouTube. There's videos, trailers, everything, man. So right now I'm going to play this audio review from P-Rock, and we'll be right back after this.
This is Gamer Tag Radio. Voicemail at 786-2737-GTR.
So a little over a month ago, the good folks over at Roccat sent me the Roccat Con Pro headset. Now, we get headset reviews pretty regularly here, and as a result, we know more or less what works and what doesn't. So I've been using their mouse for the better part of a year now, ever since I got it for review. And as a result, I was more curious to see what their latest offering really had to offer. So, marketed as the world's lightest esports gaming headset and weighing it at just over half a pound, I think it translates to about 230 grams for those outside the US. That's a bold move, right? That's a way to make an entrance. As someone that wears headsets pretty much for their daily day, for work. I work from home and I have a headset on my head for about 8 to 10 hours a day. One thing I can't appreciate is the hardware I put on my dome. So with that, we'll start off with the contents. Aside from the headset itself, the package, comes with the usual quick start guide. It comes with a Y adapter that allows the user to combine 2 3.5 millimeter connectors. One's for headphone in, one's for mic, into a single multi-purpose 3.5 millimeter plug that's perfect for like your PC, consoles, or mobile devices. There is no USB connection for this, so make sure that you're plugging them in if you have them into the right slots in your I/O port or elsewhere on your machine. I will say the concept is sound, but the implementation probably could have been done better. I would have preferred to see like a shorter braided cable instead of the 6-footer that comes attached to the headset. The reason I say that, because if you're going to market your headset towards, like, let's say mobile device use, I would have preferred to see like a shorter cable coming out of the headset with a longer extension and 2 jacks. But that's just me. That's just a preference. If I'm walking around with a headset connected to my mobile device, I don't need 6 feet of cable dangling behind me. So I think they could have done that a little bit better. So hopefully in future iterations, Roccat will hear this and maybe, implement that. One of the first things that did catch my eye, though, on the box, there's a sticker that states high-res audio. Now, considering that the certification for high-res audio typically dictates the number of samples per second are played. So, for example, CD quality audio, the standard for what like most games, movies, and music uses a sampling rate of 44,100 hertz or 44,100 samples per second. So translated, this means that your high-res audio should be double that, or 96,000 hertz. Needless to say, I was pleasantly surprised to see that a pair of gaming headphones actually has the certification on there. I know it's starting to become the trend of seeing high-res audio. It kind of couples along with the high-res video that we're seeing in 1080p and 4K now, 2K as well. So especially seeing them on a $99 pair of headphones was a little surprising, and it's a good thing, right? So moving on, we have a black headset that also comes in white and like graphite gray. It's really hard to describe that on the podcast, but it's gray. So we'll just leave it at that. So it's not wild or flashy, but it's not like an IKEA minimalist in design either. I mean, it has, it's marketed for the esports market. So you're going to have the bigger logo on there, but considering that in this case, it's a black headset with a gray logo on one of the ear cups and then, their lion or tiger branding on the other, it works, right? So it's a headset for gaming at the end of the day. It's not a VR set. So take it as you will. It's got stainless steel sliders for the headband, which lets you know that, it feels solid. It's not going to snap in half the first time you put it on your head. And the ear cups allow for rotation of up to 95 degrees. That's like standard that you're seeing on all video game headsets, where you're able to rest it on your shoulders and rotate the cup so that it just sits on your chest. The stainless steel in the headset is the only piece of metal in the headset, and that's what allows it to be so light. And you would think that if that's the case, if the rest of it is plastic, that, it would feel, like cheap and plasticky and tend to be maybe a little more brittle than expected, but it's not. It actually, it's held up for the last month of use that I've been able to move it around, whether I'm playing video games or connecting it to my desktop to listen to movies, little DJ times that I get a chance to hang out and just, mix music and stuff. So it's worked. So it also has a non-detachable rotating microphone, which is, I guess you could say, standard these days for gaming headphones. And it features that also now standard automatic mute feature when you rotate the mic up towards the ear cups. So that's good to see. Speaking of the ear cups, the cups themselves, when they rotate and rest on your shoulders, it's also got a, I guess you could say it's like a pleather, because it's not like real leather, but it's not like super vinyl or whatever. So they feel comfortable on your ears. I haven't had, like I said, I have headsets on my head for 8 to 10 hours at a time between work and so on. So I haven't really had any issues with it on my ear. I haven't seen any plastic or material degradation in the time that I've had an opportunity to use it. You can use the volume control dial that's actually on the back of the left ear cup. It's the same as the boom mic. So you can sit there and rotate your volume up and down. Again, I've been using it on the PC, on Xbox One S, several DJ sessions, whether it's connecting it directly to my mixer, connecting it directly to my laptop. So again, in all scenarios, the Con Pro has performed well above expectations. Audio quality is really, really strong. The bass comes through with enough punch for you to notice, but it's not so much that it rattles the driver and it sounds like crap. Mids and highs are also well represented without any like piercing shrills or making your ear, like pop or whatever. The Con Pro also has what's commonly referred to as passive voice cancellation. You can think of it as the build of the headphones being able to block out regular day-to-day noise. So, for example, in my case, it'd be being able to shut out the ambient noise of a family of 4 and 2 dogs, right? So it's not like, the higher end noise cancellation where it does like a sound and it kind of like, gets rid of it. It's passive. It's just the natural native build of the headphones that are able to lower the ambient noise of your outside environment. Add to that, like we said earlier, 99-cent price tag, and you have the makings of a pretty good headset at a very good price point. Where can you check them out? and maybe pick up a pair, you might be asking, head on over to their website, roccat.org. That's ROCCAT.org/shop. That's roccat.org/shop. And if you're a member of their Rocketeer program, you can actually get $10 off. You can find them also on Amazon. And quick tip, I've also started noticing some of their gear at the local Best Buy. So those are some places you can check them out. This is Pete doing the review of the Roccat Con Pro headset. I dig it. I like it. If you do too, and you're in the market for a $99 pair of headphones, I would suggest taking a look at them. All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
All right, so we're going to do some fan mail here. So let's start. It's time for fan mail.
Fan mail at gamertagradio.com.
All right, so we have a lot of questions here, lots of questions. And let's go with emails because it's been a while since we've been haven't been reading the emails here. So this is from Pedro from Orlando. Thanks for the email, man. Here it goes. He says, I was listening to episode 764, and you guys were talking about Jet Set Radio Future and the possibility of that returning. I don't know that. We'll see. I hope so. I hope it happens. He said, I was wondering, what about Microsoft? Or can Xbox make a deal with Epic and bring back Unreal Championship? Now, let me tell you this, man, about Epic Games right now. They're making so much money on Fortnite right now. I really doubt that we're going to see anything with Unreal right now. Epic is making crazy money with Fortnite. Actually, just yesterday, I saw a tweet from Lyft. Lyft is also has like a marketing deal with they have this contest. Like if you put this code for Lyft users, you have an opportunity to not only check out their Fortnite Pro-Am event, but also E3. And that was just yesterday. I was like, man, they're making so much money, man. I think that's going to be their focus right now. Nothing else. Fortnite all the way. And actually, I think a Fortnite is going to be announced for Nintendo Switch and is also going to be available right after Nintendo Direct. I'm taking my Nintendo Switch. I hope that happens. I'm going to download it for sure if that happens. All right, so we're going to go with voicemails. I have a lot of voicemails here. So let's go with let me see, what is this one? All right, so this is from the United Kingdom. Let's check it out.
Hey, Gamertag Radio, this is Tom from the United Kingdom, and my question is, do you think that if things don't work out for the Xbox, that Microsoft could start releasing their titles on Sony, PlayStation, and a Nintendo Switch? I still can imagine them keeping the Xbox, keeping their Xbox Live and Game Pass and all the services, but if content is meant to be king and that's where all the revenue is coming from, along with services, maybe they should look elsewhere and branch out. Your thoughts on it, please? Firstly, I can't imagine it happening, but I think it might be a good idea in the long term. Cheers, bye.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense for certain games, not all games, because if you release every single game available for every console, then what is the purpose of us buying an Xbox? So I think that by them keeping it, certain things exclusively only for PC and Xbox, then games like Minecraft make sense. I know years ago, way back, the first time that I ever heard of Microsoft doing this type of things was Via Pinata was available for the DS. I mean, it was a major flop. It wasn't that big, but Microsoft did that, so games like that make sense. Halo, no, I think that doesn't make sense to release Halo on every console. To me, that's more of a Xbox exclusive type game. But like I said, Minecraft makes a lot of sense. All right, so let's go with the next voicemail. Let's see, who's this?
Hey GTR, this is Mike, aka Trashback, calling from England. Nice quick question for you today. With Microsoft and the Xbox kind of losing this generation, it seems to be over. Just wondering, with E3 coming up, how many of the titles in the next year or two that they announce do you think will actually launch on the Xbox One? Do you think that they'll kind of say, right, let's just ride this gen out, and then let's put all of these next-gen titles to the next Xbox? Or do you think that they'll just sort of put everything into the Xbox One and make the most of it? Cheers, guys. Keep it up. Love to hear feedback. Speak soon.
I think it's a little bit too early for them to focus on like the next console. I don't see that happening to like 2021, 2020 or around there. So, but the difference that I think it will work for Microsoft, that, you know, you couldn't do this with PlayStation when it first launched, is have the games available, backward compatibility, add that feature for the console. So let's say there's a lot of new games that came out for the Xbox One. Once, let's say, the next Xbox comes out, those games are also available to play on that console. So at least you can say we have a lot of these games. Because I think that's what happened with the 360. I was playing a couple games from the original Xbox on my 360, especially Halo 2. That was like my baby. That game was so good, and it was also available on the 360. Actually, when it first launched, I was playing more of that game than any other game on the 360 because Perfect Dark Zero wasn't all that. Cameo was good, but once you were done, you move on to the next game, you know. So Halo 2 was it. So I think Sony and also Microsoft need to start doing this. If they plan to release another console, they need to start adding BC games. Is that going to be available too? Let's say The Last of Us is a PlayStation 4 game. Can I play that on a PlayStation 5 or something like that? You know, so I think both companies need to do that, so it can stand out. All right, but thanks for the call, man. Man, we got a couple listeners, man, from out of the United States, so that's good. I love that. Keep it up with the voicemails, guys. All right, next voicemail.
What's going on, Gamer Tag Radio? Goodness gracious, I hope you brothers are doing fabulous. This is Keon calling from Baltimore. I just gotta ask you guys about Xbox.
Uh-oh.
We are back in another episode of As the Xbox Turns.
Yep.
I want to get you guys' opinion on something. It just came out today that Microsoft, and I do want to say Microsoft, is promoting getting a PlayStation 4 bundle with God of War. The God of War PlayStation 4 bundle having to do with Mixer, something to do with the Mixer situation. I gotta say, guys, I just want to know, what is Microsoft doing? I understand they're a business. They're in this to make money. But it's been times when I forget the guy's name, where he said, what do you guys want me to play? Do you want me to play God of War, or do you want me to play something else? My question to you guys is, do you think that Microsoft is being just a little too friendly with their competition? Now, I understand Microsoft is a business and they're in it to make money. But my goodness, I have never seen another company that's in direct competition with the other promote their product instead of promoting their own. So do you guys think that this is a problem? And could people look at this from the outside looking in as a negative on Microsoft because you're promoting someone else's product versus your own? I don't know what to make of this. I would love to get you guys' opinion on this. As always, you guys are absolutely amazing, and you guys take care and have a good one. Bye-bye.
All right, Keon, thank you for the voicemail. Actually, I'll mention a couple of things about that because, you know, we're all gamers, right? Like, who cares about competition, all that stuff? I think personally, you know, I've been attending E3 now for multiple years now, since like 2005. And when I remember going to E3, sometimes I'll see the execs from Nintendo at the Xbox booth inside behind closed doors, or Xbox at the Nintendo booth right? Or PlayStation. At one time, I even took a couple pictures with execs that they were checking out Halo. They were hanging around with Aaron, and I see people with Phil Spencer and stuff like that. So we're all doing this together. This is all industry stuff. Who cares? I really don't. I see your problem. Sometimes when we go to events, we see people from different companies hanging out, chilling. Like we all are in this together in the industry, man. So that's one. Two, I know you mentioned about Mixer. Mixer to me is different because Mixer is a video streaming service. They're not competing with PlayStation or Nintendo. They're actually competing with YouTube, Twitch, Facebook gaming, and so on. So if you see content or you see people from Mixer on social media promoting, like I know the other day they were saying they have a Nintendo show, a PlayStation show, an Xbox show, PC show. They have stuff for esports. It's because they trying to get different content creators or even viewers that maybe they don't want to watch videos on Twitch, or they're probably tired of YouTube gaming. Then maybe this is like a new thing for them. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, promote the video service. Maybe you could become a video content creator. Hey, you know what? You could buy a Xbox. You could stream it from there, or you could go on your PC and stream to our platform on Mixer. So that's another thing too. So now, yes, I know you mentioned people, a couple of the execs mentioning, playing God of War and them streaming on Mixer. I mean, I don't see a problem with that, man. We all gamers, they're fans of gaming too. Then why not? So, and at the same time, I feel like that inspired the competition to, man, make better games in the future, man. Like seeing The Witcher, for example, that game could inspire people to make a better Zelda or a better Fable game in the future. Things like that. God of War, maybe that would inspire Microsoft to come up with better games, man, for their first party collection, man. I think that's awesome, man. I don't see a problem with that, man. So don't see it as like, do you want them to always just talk about Xbox 24/7? I can understand the Xbox account. That's different. But execs that work at Microsoft, who cares, man? Actually, back in the days, I remember when Major Nelson started his blog, he was promoting that he was going to attend I think it was like a Nintendo DS launch. Reggie was going to be there. It was somewhere in Seattle. And there's pictures online. Look up Major Nelson and Nintendo DS or Nintendo Reggie, Major Nelson, something like that. Look it up. There's pictures online of Major Nelson getting his device signed by Reggie. I think that's awesome. That's super, super cool, man. So that was back in the days. I think we're in a different time, and why not talk about all types of games, man? I think it's awesome. And I know Phil Spencer is always giving props to like other companies and stuff like that, man. So he hates the whole fanboy stuff, man. I know I can't remember his name, but somebody from Microsoft posted a tweet about them playing God of War. And there was a bunch of like Xbox fanboys pissed just because he mentioned God of War. Who gives a fly that he's promoting that? I don't see a problem with that at all. I think that's cool, in my opinion. All right, let's go with the next voicemail. Here goes.
Hey, Gamertag. I've actually called in a couple times now, and you guys never fail to play my voicemail. So for that, I really appreciate it. I feel pretty heard. You guys are doing it right. I'm going to get right into it. So I have never played a Far Cry game ever. I've been sleeping on that series, I guess, because everything that I know about Far Cry, 100% of the information that I have on that is from your guys' podcast. And so when I heard the Hope County, the very first interview with Pastor Jerome, man, I called my buddy and I was like, hey, man, I'm going to GameStop and I'm picking up Far Cry 5. And he's like, no Fortnite tonight? I was like, man, you need to get on that Far Cry, bro. So I'm just uber excited about it. I've been playing. It's awesome. I mean, it makes me want to go back and play the other games just because now that I'm on it, I've got buddies who are talking to me about the previous. Anyways, why I'm calling is that during the Joseph Seed interview, man, I lost it when Joseph Seed and his character, he said, "I heard about Gamertag Radio." I don't know why, man. Just hearing, because I've been playing it, so I know the character of Joseph Seed and how sinister he is. But to hear him reference Gamertag that was so funny. But it's not a bad thing. You guys killed it. I love all of those Hope County stories were awesome, man, and I hate to see them go. So I guess I just want to see if you guys maybe had other plans for more stuff like that down the line, because I really, really enjoyed those. And thanks again for turning me on to Far Cry. It's my favorite game as of recent times. So thanks again, guys. Keep it up.
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for sending us this voicemail. To me, Far Cry 5 is one of my favorite games so far this year. I had a blast covering that game multiple times, and it's very cool to see Ubisoft giving us the opportunities for not only interviewing the developers, but also checking out the games behind the scenes and stuff, and inviting us, capturing the game, and we posted on Twitch and all that stuff. I love that so much, man. Now, with Hope County Stories, that was a very interesting one because Ubisoft gave us this opportunities for us to come up with something new that nobody has ever done before, right? For their games. So we were the ones that actually were like, hey, we would like to do something like that we'll go to Hope County and we will interview the characters and stuff. So it was very weird because I think we never talked about this, but the first time that we went to Seattle, we went to PAX. That's when we met with the 3 voice actors for the first 3 episodes. This was back in September of last year. That's when we actually recorded. I saved it for this year. When we get there, we had no idea about the story, the characters, zero. Like this was like super new to us. So we were going based on the conversation that we were having at the moment. There was no script. Yes, the voice actor made a couple mistakes. I edited that part out. But overall, we had no idea what the hell we were doing. Every interview that you listened to there, it was straight up at the moment, no scripts, nothing written. But it was so awesome because based on their answers, that's when we were like, okay, we asked them the next question and the next question. And they were really into it, man. And when we were done, all the voice actors said it was one of their favorite interviews they ever done in their career because they have never done that before. And they were actually asked the character during the interview. So that was cool. Now with Joseph Seed, he was we already had an idea because that was like months later, and now we go to San Francisco, and we actually get to meet him, and we told him our idea, and we weren't even sure if he was gonna do it or not. He was like, "Hell yeah, let's do it," and we did it at the moment. So when he mentioned Gamertag Radio, I looked at P like, "Oh my god, this is really happening." I was about to laugh and everything, but it was it was one of the coolest moments, man. Like honestly, it was one of my favorite moments ever done. Like of all the things that I've done at GTR for 13 years, this was like one of my top ones, man, because it was something very creative and we've been getting a lot of feedback about, hey guys, are you doing this in the future? I'll tell you this, if any other company gives us the opportunity for us to do something like this again in the future, oh my God, I would love to do it. And I know Pete and Paris would do this right away too, because it was something cool and unique and different, man. Nobody ever done this before, you know what I'm saying? For Ubisoft, for Far Cry, So it was cool. Thank you for the voicemail, and thank you so much for actually telling us that you liked our coverage of Far Cry, because we worked really hard for those, man. All right. So I think that's about it. That's about it now with all the voicemails and fan mail. So make sure to head over to gamertagradio.com, post your comments and feedback. And what you could do too is subscribe. And you need to subscribe to different platforms. Go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, and other podcast directories. And the reason why I'm mentioning that is because E3 2018 coverage is starting June 10th all the way to the 15th. And there's going to be nonstop audio, nonstop content, interviews, hands-on impressions, and yes, we have a couple surprises too. And it's happening starting June 10th. We're going to be attending all the press conference except one. We're not going to a PlayStation. We didn't get invited, so we're not covering it. Well, actually, we're going to be talking about the press conference, but we're not going to be covering their booth. We didn't get invited, so it happens every year. Not sweating it. We have a lot of cool stuff planned. And yeah, let us know what you guys think. Hope you like it. And we're out. Until next time, I'll see you live from LA, I guess. Peace.
Thanks for listening to Gamertag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Thank you for listening to Gamertag Radio. If you'd like to donate and help us out for future events and more coverage and also better audio equipment, head over to donate.gamertagradio.com. That's donate.gamertagradio.com. Thank you.